we're going to go over a few questions from your Chapter 5 review. This is from text page 234. This isn't in the review, but it's a different question. This is a question I asked you to factor by grouping. So, in a question like this, I want you guys to realize that you're looking for a greatest common factor in the first pair, and you're looking for a greatest common factor in the second pair. Okay? So, we have our two pairs. My greatest common factor here, well, I got 16 and 12. I know 4 comes out. I also have v squared and v. I take the variable with the lowest exponent, so I know I can take a v out. So my common, or my greatest common factor out of this pair is 4v. Now what's left inside the brackets is I divide both of these by 4v. So I get 4v minus 3. Okay? Then I move on to my second pair of brackets. I take a look at, I have 12 and 9. Okay, so I'm going to take out 3. 3 should work out pretty well. And in fact, because 12 is negative, I'm going to make it negative 3 I'm going to take out. Okay, so I'm going to take out negative 3. So I divide both of these by negative 3. That leaves me with 4v minus 3. So, if you guys now take a look, this bracket and this bracket are the same. So that's a common factor. I can once again, the same idea, take a common factor and leave whatever is left over after I take that common factor out. So I take out this 4v minus 3. That's what those two brackets were. And then I put as my first and second term what's left over. Well, I had 4v and I had minus 3. So this one just happens to work out where the brackets are the same. How would I write this?
4v minus 3 squared.
That's right. I would just write this as one bracket squared. Okay? So that question just happened to come out that way. I want to just talk about this one part up here, guys. So, because I have factored many times over my life, I was able to notice that I needed to take out negative 3. If we had taken out positive 3, let's say, that would have left it like this. And our brackets, this bracket, that bracket there, we had negative 4v plus 3, would have been different from this one, negative or positive 4v minus 3. I know the terms would have been the same, so I would have known I had to factor out a negative number in order to get the brackets to be the same. Okay, guys? So if you factored out positive 3 instead of our negative 3 here, you would have noticed the brackets would have been different, and you would have had to factor out a negative on top of it. Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay, question 1A, right out of the review. Very first question. It says to use distributive property. Distributive property is also known as expand and simplify. And expand and simplify, when you have two brackets like this, could also be known as FOIL. Okay? So, remember our FOIL is our first numbers, or our first terms, outside terms, inside terms, and our last terms. You want to go up and do it on the board? Sure. Go ahead. All right, there we go. So Sheldon's going to solve this. I'll talk as Sheldon does it. So it's still being recorded, guys. So Sheldon multiplied the first two terms. Can you underline the two that you multiplied, Sheldon? The first terms in each bracket. And you got x times x is x squared. That's fine. You keep going. Next, he multiplied what? The outside terms he's going for. So he's going to multiply 8 times x is 8x. So he did the outside. Can you underline those two, please? Perfect. Next, Sheldon is going to multiply the inside terms, which is 5 times x, and he gets 5x. Very good. And finally, he's going to multiply the last terms. 8 times 5 is 40. Excellent. Good. Okay, write it all out in black now. If you guys notice as he's doing this, he underlined each term in the brackets twice. That means every number has to be multiplied twice in this process. Okay? Now that he's expanded, he's going to simplify. So he has to add the two middle terms together. 8x plus 5x is 13x. Plus 40. And are you done? That's it. He's done. That's your final answer there. Can you pause it, Sheldon? All right, this will be our third example. We'll call it a random example because it's hard to find in the book. But this question asks you to factor this quadratic, 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. So when we do that, we're going to find the factors of our A term and the factors of our C term. Factors of 3 are 1 and 3. Factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Makes it easy for us. We know that we're going to have to multiply these factors to get two products. I have to add up to our B, which is positive 7. So we know our final answer is going to be in brackets. And because there's only one column of factors on our first term, our first two terms in the bracket, one's going to be 1x. We'll just write it as x. One of them is going to be 3x. Next, we deal with our last terms. We're going to have to figure out what order to put these in. So I'm going to multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Does positive 1 and positive 6 equal positive 7? Yep. So I know that I have to multiply the 1 times the 1. Guys, this is very important. Many of you guys made mistakes here. Because I'm multiplying 1 times 1, they have to go in opposite brackets. So my first term 1, x, is right here. So my positive 1 goes in the other bracket. Therefore, my 3x is the first term here. I multiplied it by 2. It has to go in the opposite bracket over here. So I now have my two terms, my pair of factored answers, 3x plus 1. And in that same question, Daniel, it says to check by expanding. Expanding would be the exact same thing we did before. So here's our final answer. But I'm going to check it by foiling, okay? I'm going to foil this. That is not, I spell foil. There you go. Foil to check, just to make sure. So I'm going to do this quickly. Supposed to be, oh, that K? All right, x squared. X times 1 is x. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 1 is 2. Simplify. And if you guys notice, we take this answer, go back up above. Oh, sorry. X times 3x is 3x. 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. Exact same thing we started with. 3x squared plus 7x plus 2. Okay. All right, example 2b from your review. When you do a question like this, if you guys notice, we'll be foiling distributive property. We're going to be foiling our back two brackets. So what I want you guys to deal with first, just because it'll make things easier, I want you to just foil those two things there. And it didn't highlight the way I want to. Let's try it one more time. There we go. I want you to foil those two brackets there, okay, guys? So I'm just going to deal with those two first. I'm going to bring down my common factor. I'm going to deal with these. First terms, w times w is w squared. Outside terms, w times negative 3v is negative 3vw. Inside terms, negative 7 times w is negative 7vw. And last terms, negative 7 times negative 3 is positive 21v squared. Now that I have that, I'm going to simplify the bracket. Negative 3vw minus 7vw is negative 10vw. Then I'm going to distribute my w on the outside to each term. inside. So W times W squared is W cubed. W times negative 10VW is negative 10VW squared. And finally, W times 21V squared is 21V squared W. This would be your final answer. Once again, guys, this is an expand and simplify. It's going to be a FOIL question. So we're going to FOIL. First terms, 5A times 2A, 10A squared. Outside terms, 5A times 9B. That's going to be positive 45AB. Inside terms, negative 6B times 2A is negative 12AB. Last terms, negative 6B times positive 9B is negative 54B squared. Look at this FOIL to the outside. Then I simplify. Only my two middle terms are going to simplify. So positive 45AB minus 12AB, we just deal with the coefficients. So it's like having 45 minus 12 gives us 33 AB minus 54B squared. That's it. That's it. That's it. Done. Go. Okay. The very first thing I'm going to do here, guys, is in our first question, I'm going to FOIL these two brackets first, okay? I'm going to FOIL those two brackets first, then I'm going to deal with this negative 4 on the outside after. When I get to the second question, I'm going to do it a little differently. So I'm going to deal with all the first terms first, get them all done with. So, negative 4. When I multiply my first terms, 8x squared. Outside terms, negative 10x. Inside terms, negative 24x. Negative 6, positive 30. So, I FOILed those brackets. Then I simplify them. Comes negative 12x plus 30 minus 4. Now I distribute the negative 4 into each term. So, negative 32x squared plus 48x minus 120. There we go. I simplified the very first part, but I still have to deal with my brackets on the other side. I'm going to do this one a little differently, just to show you the two different ways. So, gentlemen, what I'm going to do now, I've done the first one. So, I'm going to deal with the second one now. Instead of FOILing the brackets first, there's another way we can do this. I can actually just put that 3 into the first bracket, okay? I'm going to distribute this 3 to both those numbers. Then I'm going to FOIL the brackets after. So what that would look like, I continue writing down what I had before. When I distribute my 3 into both, I get plus bracket 33x plus 21 end bracket minus 4. So this is still a plus sign here. Now that I've done that and I don't have a common term on the outside, I'm going to FOIL those brackets there. When I FOIL that, they're going to give me a bunch of terms that I'm going to be able to simplify after. So I'm going to do this quickly. When I FOIL this, 33x times 11x, 363x squared, I believe. 33 times negative 4 is negative 232x, I believe. Oh, this one's going to be 231. Yeah, very good. 231x. And that, what's that one going to be? Negative 484 end bracket. So that's a little hard to see. We'll move over a little. So we move this over, negative 32x squared plus 48x minus 120. Now I'm going to simplify those brackets. 363x squared. What do those two add up to? So there was a little mistake up here. It should have been 24, which changes our answers. This would have been your final answer once you simplified all of those numbers.